Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name, officialbunne_e. Now let's get to the recap. Alex and Brian start their day. They're locked with elbows. And she's telling him, hey, the last time we met with Tommy, he told us that our friends are going to come to question the guys that we're really feeling. And I just want to let you know that my friend Tanisha, she's a straight shooter. She's going to ask you whatever she needs to ask you. And, I'm just warning you now. And he's like, oh, okay, that's fine. She can ask me what she wants to. Simone and Jay talk about a pool, and Simone is just telling him that she just felt really bad for saying what she said and kind of embellishing what actually happened, and she hoped that it doesn't start any bad energy between them. And Jay says, I forgive you and I'm proud of you that you accepted your statement that you made and that it was wrong. And he says to production, I really like the fact that she's apologizing, but at least a bad taste in my mouth that she even would do such a thing like that. Naya has her cousin Kiki to come there and talk to her booze that she's feeling at the resort. And Naya can't wait for Kiki to just come in with all the questions. She's ready. And she's going to tell him everything that she needs to know and also question everything. And Naya's just like, hey, I'm just going to sit back here. And Kiki, you can take control of everything. And she asked him, what do you do for a living? Are you a family man? And he's like, I'm in radio. I'm a family man. I believe in God. I grew up in the church. Matter of fact, I'm an ordained deacon. And Naya's just like, wait a minute. You mean we could have a baby right now? I mean, we could have been married and you just finalized everything right there. I mean, yeah. And Kiki is like, okay. Well, so far, so good. We then flip over to Tanisha, Alex, and Brian. So they sit down for a little second. And Brian says to production, I hope that her friend is not one of those hater friends, that always got something to say. So Brian then says, well, I have a 3-year-old. She's my princess. And after having her, it made me look at women differently and realize that I need to treat women with the utmost respect, and that I just view dating and getting to know women totally different. We then go back to Kiki talking with Chris, and she says, what are your perspectives about finance? And he says, well, I just feel like we, should split the mortgage, split all of the expenses. Maybe I pay the cable bill, and then maybe she paid the water bill, and, she might make more than me. There's not a lot of money in radio, and, I want to be able also to fill in the gaps where I'm needed, because women nowadays are just really independent and they, control a lot of stuff in their lives. And, may I just feel I'll just step in where I'm needed. And then Chris says to production, I could just tell after I made that statement that the vibe was totally different after I said my piece. And Chris, his energy is totally different around the ladies, so bad to where he excuses himself and says, well, I'll let you two women have your little girlfriend talk. So, I'm going to head out. Naya's like, well, you leaving? He's like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead, let y'all talk for a moment. And Kiki hugs him and says, it was nice to meet you. Goodbye. Have a good day. All this other stuff. And Naya, she just immediately just starts venting to her cousin, like, split the mortgage. That mortgage, that's your job. That's a man's job. If I have a child and I'm trying to hold your, baby, your child, I'm not thinking about the mortgage. And Kiki's like, wait. You need to chill, cousin. Like, you just making it seem like y'all get married tomorrow. Like, calm down for a minute. We then see Tanisha and Brian. They're sitting down, starting to talk. And after she learns that he has a child, she asks him about co-parenting. And he's like, co-parenting isn't easy, but it's something that's necessary. And she also says, well, have you ever cheated before? And Brian says, huh? And she says, well, if you can you can hear. And Brian says, well, what happened was, I wasn't honest enough. We didn't communicate. She didn't really have what I wanted. So I kind of let that linger for a few months before I even mentioned it. And just things started to just fall apart. And Alex's friend says, well, just say what you feel. Like, don't try to give this elongated answer. Just spit facts on what really happened. It's just, I'm trying to read y'all's vibes. Y'all sitting together, y'all sitting next to each other, and it's unclear. I mean, it feels kind of off, but I don't know. So he decides that he wants to leave to let the ladies talk. And Tanisha's telling Alex, like, it seems like he's not being 100% open. And the vibe that you two guys have is really not genuine. And it seems kind of forced. Elgin and Winter, they're with one another outside playing a nice little game. They're joking around. She's asking him, hey, when you go on vacation, do you sleep in or do you like to wake up early and plan things? And he's like, well, it just really depends on what the vacation is. But I like to get up and not waste the time on vacation because I want to see everything. And Winter just says in a very flirtatious way, maybe you should think about sleeping in more. But then again, you would need someone to give you something to sleep in for. And she's next to him and she's just kind of flirting with him, getting close to his face and standing cheek to cheek. And they're just doing more flirting. And he's like, okay, well, maybe I do need to find somebody like that. And she's like, yeah, by the water and in a bikini. And he's like, oh, okay, we're going to have a twerk contest. Is that what it is? She's like, yeah, a twerk contest. And it's this key, honey. And she is just putting on all the meow mix with Mr. Elgin. So then we have a little poolside conversation with Chris, Simone, Joy, and Alex joins the conversation, but a little bit later. So she sits down with them a little bit later in the conversation. And Chris says, I dropped the ball during that whole thing with Naya and her cousin because they asked me this question about finances. And Joy says, it's setting expectations right now. We're getting to know one another and people have assumptions and they could go forward with what you answer. Like if somebody's looking for somebody who's financially stable and be the man of the house, when you say certain things, women, are just kind of conjuring already up in their head. Do I get to stay at home? A man should take care of everything. Like, cause that's the way they think. Maybe Naya was looking for that kind of guy, looking for that someone to take care of things. And when you said that, maybe they kind of turned her away and turned her off. And Simone is just like, I'm gonna pretend like I'm interviewing you and I got the microphone. If you could retry and just clarify what you meant to say, what would you say? And Chris is like, well, I should have responded, with the same answer. But, a woman should be, independent and do what she wants. But then again, we should split some things. And they're like, oh, so clearly Chris feels the way that he feels about it. No matter what anybody says, that's how he's feeling. So then we have this brunch date with Joy. I'm going to stop saying her name like that. But you got Joy and Jay, Edwin and Winter. And Joy is bringing her friend Lydia. And Winter is bringing her friend Felicia. So Lydia says, you like her. I'm just going to be for real. You like him. She likes her. You like her. You like her. Y'all all like each other. What's going on? And Jay, breaks the ice and says, well, you know what? As long as it's not he likes him and he likes him, then we're good. Everything should be okay. And everybody has a good laugh for a minute and it breaks the ice for a second. But Jay says, I'm ready for the hot seat. Let me know. Ask me what you want to ask me. I'm all open. Let's go. And Felicia says, what does Joy have that Winter doesn't? And it says this, ooh, in unison at the table. Like, dang, okay, you going to ask a question like that? All right. And even Winter turns like, oh, okay, well, that's a good question. This is something I would like to know. And Jay says, they're, two totally different women. Joy's energy, Winter's energy. That's your girl. But Joy's energy, you can feel it automatically right when you meet her. And Lydia says, so what's the top pick? You getting to know people. Everybody has their hierarchy of their first choice. So, who's your top pick? And Jay says Joy. That Joy is his top pick, and that's who he's feeling the most. And you can tell with Winter's body language and the way that she's shifting in the chair and looking that she's bothered by Jay's comment. And she says to production that it's hard to hear that you're second choice. I mean, who wants to hear that? But I mean, I appreciate him being honest, and at least he gave an answer. Edwin gets the same question and said winner gives him that vibe that he's looking for, the fun, the energy, and someone he could see being with as a lifetime partner. And it's difficult just point out everything right now. And of course, I would have to talk with my sisters, because my sisters would help me with the input, and I just respect their opinions, and their opinions are very valuable to me. And they're all like, wait a minute, so your sisters, you guys want some of them sisters that, you can't have a woman, and no woman is better, two is good enough for you. And he's like, no, I just value their opinion. And of course, I would want to know their thoughts about whoever I would bring to them, especially somebody I'm talking about spending the rest of my life with. Jay, while exiting, accidentally spills wine on Joy's dress, and everybody's just like, ooh, and it's just this energy at the table like, well, okay then. Ugh. Naya is excited, so she sets up a date with Edwin and wants to see how he answers the question differently or the same when it comes to finance. And she tells production, like, this is my goal here. I want to see how he's going to answer this question. So she sits him down and she says to Edwin, my cousin, she came here to talk with Chris, and you know what? I just want to see if you're going to answer this question the same. And Edwin says, uh-oh, like, dun, dun, dun. Like, okay, what's about to happen? And Naya says, I just want to know, like, okay, so a man's job is to protect and provide, right? So what does that mean to you? And Edwin is just like, well, I mean, if I'm the husband, it's my job to financially take care of things. I mean, of course, multiple streams of income is smart just in case things happen, but also a man has to be able to do that, and but then again, you got to be real. If a man can't do that, then, it makes more sense that the couple work as a team. And Naya says, well, I mean, hypothetically speaking, I mean, what would I need to bring to the table? I mean, what do I need to do? And Naya is turned on, okay, by Edwin's answer so much that she starts to massage his scalp. And he's like, well, I mean, I love scalp massage, and if you keep going, I'm just gonna have to lay in your bosom or your lap and then just fall asleep. She's like, oh no, it's okay. And she even leans in for a kiss. Oh my. And it's a kiss that's kind of like, okay. And Edwin's just, you can tell he's being kissed and just kind of kissing her back. And Edwin even says to production, I mean, that kiss threw me off. I mean, I thought she was just all team, Chris, and it was just kind of awkward. The kiss kind of came out of nowhere, but okay. Later on, while everybody's getting a little bite to eat, Chris wants to clarify some things with Naya, that comment that he made about finances. And as he's beginning to talk, you can tell from Naya's face that she's just really not feeling anything he has to say. She's looking at him, and it's like in her mind, you could picture the sound of blah, 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 womp, 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 womp. And Chris says, I just want to clarify what I meant. I mean, of course, if I'm the man in a relationship, I'm taking care of everything, we're not splitting mortgage. I mean, we're not roommates. But then again, bills and stuff, that's still things that we have to discuss. And Naya says, okay, that's you. You open how things go in your life, kind of really just saying like, I could care less about what you're saying to me right now. And she's completely over Chris. You can tell her body language, the way that she's sitting, the way that she's kind of making it look like she's giving him time to talk. And she says to production that I am open to 30,000 more discussions with Edwin. And Chris says to production, something's just, oh man, this vibe is just completely off now, and that's not good. We usually have these deep conversations and everything, but right now it's just off. Adriana meets with her friend Morgan, and she's like, I'm so happy my friend Morgan is here. We were both cheerleaders together, and they're just hugging like, oh my God, hi girl. And you could tell their vibes are very, very similar. All that high energy and the smiles, just, you could tell they friends. Adriana is blushing about Rashid and how he used to be married before, and he has one child, but I'm just really digging this guy. And as she's, talking about him, Rashid walks up, and she says that hey, this is Rashid, and Rashid is telling the friend, how nice to meet you. They greet one another, and he's just like, I'm ready for the questions. I'm ready for this process, so just feel free to ask me anything. We then cut back to Denise, and she meets with her friend Terry. And Denise says, there's these two guys I'm feeling, and I want you to meet both of them. We have Anthony and Kelfani. They walk up, and Anthony says to production, I must admit, this is awkward. You got these two guys on a date with a friend, and she's gonna question us. And it's just weird because it's like we both look the same. One is short and swole, one is tall and swole, and it's evident that she like chocolate. It's just weird. Rashid goes on to speak with Morgan and Adriana, and he says, it's great that we vibe because, I want more kids and she wants children, and my 7-year-old is just my life. And Rashid's face just glows when he talks about his son. And Morgan says, what derailed your relationship? Because you were married for a very long time. And Rashid said it just all boiled down to just miscommunication. I wasn't 100% with everything. Plus, I just didn't communicate well. I was trying to start my own business. I had all this stuff going on. And what I'm looking for now is just more than attraction. But looks fade, things fade. I'm trying to have someone that wants to build a long-lasting relationship and a good marriage. Anthony gets the first question from Terry, and she wants to know, have you ever cheated? And Anthony's just like, he's just saying that out loud. And he's like, yeah, I did, but I was younger. I was more focused on my football career than a relationship. But now, I don't play football. I have different perspectives of life, and I'm just in a different place. So that's just not me. Morgan, we cut back to Morgan and Rashid and Adriana, and she asks, what would you say you guys have the connection, and do you think the connection is real? And Rashid says yes. I want kids. She wants kids. She says she wants 3, but she got to throw in a girl in there. We can't have just all boys. So they share this little laughter and giggles, and then he says, it was nice meeting you. I'm glad that you were able to ask me anything. They share some hugs, and then he leaves. And Morgan says to Adriana, he's great. He seems like a really, really good guy. And Adriana says, well, yeah, I'm also feeling this guy named Kelfani. He's chocolate, nice. He has this nice build. And Morgan says, what I noticed is that when you talk about Rashid, you talk about everything, a whole bunch of stuff. His personality, his physique, all of the things that he can bring to the table. When you're talking about Kelfani, you just talk about his appearance and nothing else. And it seems to me like you vibe more with Rashid. Terry asks Anthony, are you a dominant spirit? And Anthony says, well, I'm a man. I'm going to be head of the household. But at the same time, I know that we both have our own roles and dreams. And so it's not like I'm just going to exclude my significant other when it comes to certain things. If Kelfani gets the same answer, they do share the same answer, kind of like what they said in the statement. But he also asked Kelfani that I am on a mission just to end generational curses. Everything that happened with me is stopped with me. I'm from the mud, and I established myself as a successful man. And you could tell Denise is just like, oh. And Denise says to production, I think I'm in love, because someone that's into breaking curses, and that's something that me and Terry talked about, that we are ending, family curses and things and not bringing that into the next generation. So she's just really, really feeling Kelfani. And after the men leave, Terry tells Denise, I think Kelfani most definitely is the one for you. You guys connect with no question. It's at the end of the day, and the ladies meet with Tommy. And Tommy says, it's interesting that when you start to get to the crust to get to know somebody, you start realizing what's real and what's infatuation. So he wants to know who the ladies are feeling. And he starts with Simone and says, well, what was your experience and what happened? And she says, well, unfortunately, my friend, before she was about to come out here, she couldn't make it because her newborn child had to be rushed to the hospital. So just keep, my family and everyone in your prayers. And everybody says, oh, most definitely. So she didn't get to have that one-on-one with the friend and who her perspective was. So she didn't get the opportunity. So they move on to Winter. And Winter says, my friend really didn't feel either of the guys. She said that Edwin, it might be a problem with his sisters because it seems like, they might dominate how he feels about people that he meets. And Jay just seems seemed like he was just giving sales answers, just telling us what he wanted to hear. And Joy says, well, my friend Lydia called Jay a showman, and she was feeling Edwin for me. Denise says, my friend, without a shadow of doubt, thinks that me and Kelfani have this connection that is real. And she says, kind of in this tone, everyone can see it. Kind of putting the tone out there like y'all, me and Kelfani is me and Kelfani all day. She's kind of putting it out there. Then we get to Adriana, and she says, Rashid is definitely giving me all the right answers, all the right feelings, and I just feel that we're a good match, and my friend thinks that we're a good match as well. And Tommy says, the last time that we all talked, everybody had their opinions about who they were feeling. So let's move on to Naya. And Naya says, okay, I'm next. What do you want to know? Kind of this energy had changed. And Tommy was just like, well, okay. The last time we talked, you were really into Chris. And Naya was like, I wasn't really into nobody. And Tommy is just like, whoa, hold on. Last time we talked, you were so gung-ho into Chris. And Naya says, well, I just, was obliging his interests. I don't know who Chris is. And everybody's just like, whoa. And Tommy is just like, wow. Like, what is going on? Like, what was the turn of events to happen? Like, well, you have this different tone now. I mean, you got to explain to me what's going on. And Naya's just like, my friend, before she came, she's my friend. She knows how I feel about the man being dominant, taking care of finances, taking care of me. And when she asked that question to him, he was talking about splitting this, and he felt like he could just fill in where he was needed. And Simone says, well, he did clarify what he meant to us, and he didn't feel too good. He felt bad about it. And Naya's just like, well, cutting her off. Like, we talking about what happened. So, and Simone has this look like, dang, girl, I was just trying to say something, but Naya is just so over it and just like, I don't want to hear nothing else about Chris. We get to Alex, and she says, my friend likes him but feels that he's just not telling everything. It seems like he has this guard up and he's just not being real. It's just like, go ahead and say what you mean what you say. And Tommy says, yeah, sounds like y'all are just infatuated. She's like, yeah, my friend said the same thing. And maybe it's just infatuation. And Joy says, well, I'll tell you who I'm tired of. I'm actually tired of hearing Brian talk, actually. And Tommy says, well, take some time, talk to the guys a little bit longer. But hey, we got to let somebody go home. So make that decision. Think, choose wisely. But we got to let somebody go tonight. So we have Joy and Chris talking, and Denise and Brian. Denise starts to talk with Brian and says, look, you know me. I can't sugarcoat nothing. I'm just going to get straight to it. I mean, you got to be straightforward and have better communication. The women feel like you're just not being honest about a lot of things. You hold a lot of stuff back. And what happened with you and Alicia? I mean, you told her one thing and then you stood her up. I mean, that's just going to make people think that you can't keep your word and you're going to be lying. And then also it seems like you're trying to figure out what you want and figure out things while you're here. But everybody that's here is ready to love. But we all have decided that you're good. So you're going to stay here. And Brian says to production, wow, I'm just, I'm really not showing how excited I am, but I'm just really excited that they allowed me to stay and get to know, Alex more. And I need to communicate more. So I'm definitely going to, step it up. So Brian is staying. Then we have Joy and Chris. And Joy says, look, what's going on? I got to talk to you, and it's about that time. And Chris says, well, you know what? I'm just going to be real. I knew the vibe was off between me and Naya. She asked me this question, and I guess I answered it wrong. I could tell something was up. And Joy says, well, another note, you really didn't vibe with anybody else here. You just completely went Naya. You didn't get to talk to anybody else, and on that note, we really can't, there's nobody else that's really connecting with you. So we decided that you're not ready to love. And Chris is very sad about it. And he's telling production, I just really honestly felt that Naya and I were just vibing and connecting and that she was my special someone. But I guess I got to accept the truth. and leave, and maybe I'll find my queen out there. And Joy says to him, like, I mean, I'd rather tell you than for Naya to tell you. And I wouldn't want her to tell you right now. So, I couldn't let anybody do that to you. And Chris is just like, I appreciate it. So Chris is eliminated. And that, my friends, is the end of the episode. Hey, y'all. Once again, thank you for tuning in. So much to go over. Oh. Naya, sweetie, honey, your desperation is showing. Naya came in with one mission, yeah. She's gonna get her man, get her baby, by any means necessary. It's Naya in desperation. Naya in desperation. Gone. Dang, girl, you came on hard. I mean, that kiss that she gave Edwin, when he was holding the back of her neck, that wasn't, that powerful, dominating thing. He been in the military. That was that, let me control her by her neck, just in case she want to do something else, like stick her tongue down my throat or something like that. Edwin was like, okay, I guess I'll kiss her back. It was like this awkward, dry kiss. It was just, when Christopher said that he wanted to split finances and, hey, I'm gonna pay for this, pay for that, Naya's vagina said, close. I mean, it just cut off everything from her head to the bottom of her feet. Just stopped. I mean, everything just stopped. I told y'all, when Edwin walked up to that resort in that blue suit, blue's my favorite color. When he walked up, he was not playing any games. Okay? He's like, I'm here for love. I mean, he was not playing. He didn't have anything to hide. He was saying everything, and I do mean everything. I told y'all that man was not there playing no games. Now we need to have this discussion. Let me clarify two things. Now, I know some of y'all are saying, now didn't Simone say that she wanted somebody financially stable, and everybody was judging her for that because she said, let's just clarify. Simone said she wanted somebody financially stable. She didn't want somebody she didn't say she wanted somebody that was going to take care of her. That's two different things. Naya want to be pregnant, barefoot at the house chilling. She want her man to take care of everything. That's what she wants. Okay. And the minute that Chris wasn't down for that, her whole psyche the dog just gonna keep barking. Her whole psyche just changed. I mean, see, even the dog agreed. Yeah, but her whole psyche changed, and what I don't understand about that is she should have been saying it since she got there. She really left that part out. She really didn't share that with Chris from the beginning, who she was feeling so hard. So she could have just said that to him, since y'all were just talking about everything else. And once he said he was an ordained deacon or whatever, you was all ready to open your legs and say, let's just make this happen, Captain. So you just, but I mean, Edwin, when she lunged him for that kiss, if it was me, I'm sorry, if I'm a dude, she would have got that. You remember on the Christmas Story, Ralphie, when he went to go see the department store Santa, and he put that shoe on their forehead? Ho. I would have had the bottom of my foot on her forehead, like, skr. Man, like, whoa, wait a minute, Naya. And then the fact that you snapped at Simone because she was trying to say her 2 cents, you need to, can we get it together? Get it together. You should have knew from that open shirt, okay, that he was down for that rah-rah. Girl, shout to, let's do that kiss that Edwin did, y'all. Come on, do it. He was even leaning. You know what? If you kissing somebody and their eyes aren't completely closed, if they just like, is that categorized? Did he consent? I just feel a little awkward. But let's be real. If you were feeling a guy, you know what I'm saying, and he worked at JCPenney and y'all was vibing and all sorts of stuff, then you start talking to this millionaire and he started telling you how he can take care of you and y'all sharing the same interests. Daquan he ain't gonna sound the same. He like, baby, you ready to go to Taco Bell and get something to eat? Huh? I said, are you ready to go to Taco Bell and get something to eat? What? I said, are you ready to go to Taco Bell? Huh? You ain't gonna hear nothing. You're gonna be like, it's a ghost in here. Why I keep hearing Taco Bell? I'm just saying, I mean, her interest was off. It is what it is. Oh, and just a side note, the girl Tanisha, when she was talking to Brian, I'm really not a big fan of Brian. Y'all know that. But when he said, huh, and she said, if you can, huh, you can hear. That was so rude. Okay. I would have been like, well, I really didn't hear you. Huh? I said what I said, huh? Maybe if you articulate, do that. If you can, huh, you can hear. Man, God knew what he was doing when he didn't make me a man. I mean, what you, huh? If you can, huh, you can hear. Man, I would have got up and started taking my shirt off. Hold on, dog. Hold on. Shawty talking about if you can, huh, you can hear. Hold up. Wait a minute. Man, wait a minute, dog. That was rude, Tanisha. Okay? Ladies, y'all are doing it all wrong. You kept Brian but let Chris go? No. You let Brian go because none of y'all are feeling Brian. The only one that is feeling him is Alex, right? And you keep Chris because he need to stay there with the strong feeling that Naya's having with Edwin now. Because the women that's feeling Edwin, I would have been like, so you switching? Like you all up on Ed. You should have kept Chris. Because that's when you get out the popcorn. Come on, messy boots. Come on, Joy. Where your boots at? You lost your boots? Oh, come on. You should have kept Chris. And you should have let go Brian or Anthony. That's what you should have done. Because nobody's feeling Anthony. Nobody. Because Denise is all up on Kelfani. She already done had his kids in her mind. You should have let them go and you should have kept Chris. But I'm not there. I'm not on the show. Y'all don't know what y'all doing. Okay, let me move on. Another note, I know Winter said, well, my friend wasn't feeling neither one of them. Jay is the salesperson and, Edwin and his sisters. Girl, you afraid of some sisters? I mean, are you going to be sharing your man with his sisters? What you scared of the sisters for? I mean, I'm from the South. You always going to have, little talks with family and stuff like that. But don't be afraid of the sisters, girl. And just because your friends are saying she not feeling neither one of them, you feeling Edwin, right? Don't stop going after Edwin because based on what your friend said, okay? Side note, yes. Oh, Adriana, girl, you need to watch out for your friend Morgan. Morgan was really digging Rashid. She was a little, close to Rashid. Let me get this notepad so I can take my notes. Hold up. Like, girl, cheerleaders. Go, Rashid. Sharing is caring. Rashid, he's our man. If he can't do us, then, I don't know, it rhymes with do us both. Girl, you better watch out for your man, Rashid. And your friend got that high energy like you do. Because we heard what had happened at camp. So, watch your man. Watch your man. Watch your man. Morgan was really feeling Rashid. She was asking him the questions with her doll eyes on. Oh, he's 7. And it's a way to ask questions. The way she was asking questions was like, well, if this don't work out, Rashid, you come. She was giving those vibes off. She really was. Adriana need to watch Rashid. I told y'all Rashid was a good man. He really didn't clarify why the marriage ended, but whatever. We'll give you a pass. But you was like, it's a miscommunication. I was, entrepreneur, and let me tell y'all what happened, because he don't want to tell y'all. What happened was he was dealing them luxury cars. And, if you have those luxury cars, you got to take them from lot to lot. You got to talk with different investors, all sorts of stuff. So that's when you personally drive the cars. And when you drive in the cars, you're going to have women that's just like, oh my God, look at him. He in that car. He's so cute. And then he pull over like, was you talking to me? That's what had happened. So, and he was busy trying to have his own business. And in the midst of that, communication in the marriage. And that's what happened. I got you, Rashid. I got you. Okay, so it's 6 guys and 7 women, right? Because we're trying to get down to that final, group of potential couples, right? So we got left of the guys, Edwin, Brian, Anthony, Kelfani, Jay, and Rashid. And of those left, like the only ones to me, like Anthony needs to go. Like, who's feeling Anthony? I mean, and Brian, he can kick rocks. The women that are left, Winter, Adriana, Simone, Alex, Denise, Joy, and Naya. I got a feeling that Simone might be next, because who she vibing with? We really didn't get a chance to see her vibe with anybody because her friend wasn't there. And she really hasn't been vocal enough. I know she was feeling Jay, but she done messed that up, child, being messy boots. So who else is she feeling? She really hadn't expressed that. I honestly feel that none of the guys there really took her fancy. None of the guys there really are a good match for Simone, which was David, but he's not there. But the guys that are left, to me, is really not anybody else that's really compatible with Simone like that at this point, after all this time. She really hadn't been vibing with anybody like that. But of all the women, I would probably say, the men might select Naya to go home. Because who else is feeling Naya? Because Naya was just all up on Chris with his open shape. So nobody else is feeling Naya, so they might vote her out, because they got to let one more female go next week, or they might switch it up, child. I don't know how they might do some little wild factor stuff. But the only people, and then Edwin might say to the dudes, hey man, she was all up on me, man. She was with Chris. He did say that to production, she was talking to Chris, and now she all up on me. Like, in the blink of an eye, she just switched like that. If I was a dude, I'd be like, ooh, I can't even go to the other room to make a sandwich. I would come back. You're going to be on my daddy. Girl, I don't trust you. She got to go. Who else? Yeah, I'd probably say Alex would probably be Simone, Alex, or Naya. Because everybody else, they really vibing. Edwin really is feeling Winter. They have had a connection from the beginning, right? So I don't know, child, but this week the women that are there tripping. But Adriana, watch your friend, girl, because whatever happens after the show, best believe she gonna drop that pencil next to Rashid and be like, excuse me, go team. She might trip on fall on something. I'm just saying. But let me know what you think. Please leave your comments down below. Please let me know. Also, I'm going to put down in the comments this special monetization video. We were monetized this week. So a big kudos and round of applause to everybody that's subscribed to this channel. I love y'all so much. Check out that video so you can see what's next for Bunny. I love y'all so much. Let me know y'all's comments. Have a good rest of the evening, day, whatever time it is that you're watching this. I love y'all so much. Until next time, stay ready. And also, we have tomorrow, Saturday, the new Iyanla Vanzant episode with Lisa Ray, her mom, and her daughter. So make sure that y'all check that out. Go to my Instagram page. Make sure that you follow me so you can get the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. But go to my Instagram page so you can get the sneak peek of what's coming up on Iyanla. Follow that. If you haven't watched any of the episodes, go to the playlist. I'll put that in the link as well so you can catch up, so you can know what's going on, so you can join the conversations, get involved with these healthy debates and discussions about everything. As we get closer and closer to the end of the year, we do have more shows. We do have Wu-Tang and American Saga coming up. We have a lot more shows. And then on the cusp of January, we have The Handmaid's Tale, amazing show. We got a lot more shows coming up. COVID pushed back a lot of dates, but we do have a lot of shows coming up, a lot of movies and so forth. So until next time, take care of one another. Please be cordial in the comments. We can all agree to disagree. It's all love. Until next time, I see you. Bye.